Hi guys, so for this video today, I actually filmed the majority of it yesterday when I was having a really bad day. I've kind of been in a bad place the past week because of my health, but because my health hasn't been the greatest, it also has a huge effect on my mental health. And I kind of wanted to show you guys that because I talk about something very personal in this that I'm afraid of. And I've kind of been afraid of it my whole life because it's something that I've previously gone through. So obviously I'm afraid of it happening again. So because it's Fearless October and everything, I just wanted to be honest about my fears as well. So let's just jump right into it. When I was 9, I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And back then, I had no idea the kind of effect it would have on my life because I was at such a young age. I went through all these tests and had to go to all these appointments, and I had to get so much blood work done. I used to have to get these injections every single year in essentially every joint in my body because I would be deformed and uncomfortable and in so much agony. I took all these pills and nothing would work. Everything would just fail. I was in and out of a wheelchair for a while. I think the last time I was in one was when I was 16. So it's been a long time, but it still haunts me every single day. It's just so scary to think that I can go back to that. And the entire time that I've been out of a wheelchair, sometimes I get this feeling like I've wasted my time. I look back on the years since I've been out of a wheelchair and I look back at all the things that I've done. I've had really good memories. I've lived a good life, but most of the time I feel like I've been taking it for granted. And I know there's no such thing as normal. Nobody's normal. Everybody's unique. Everybody goes through their own struggles. But it's like I've been living this lie and trying to convince myself that I'm normal and that I don't live with this. So when I have moments like these, I'm very in tune with my body, and because I've lived with this for 13 years, I know what it's like to get that pain. I know when I'm starting to have another flare-up, and the past week, I've been getting this feeling in my ankles and my knees, and my brain fog has been worse than normal, and because I'm just so used to dealing with it now. But lately, it's like I try to get work done, and it just keeps getting in the way. I have all these ideas and all these things that I want to do, and the brain fog and all of the fatigue just keeps getting in the way, and it's been so long that I feel like I don't know how to deal with it anymore. And all the pain is starting to come back. And I guess what this is kind of showing me is that I've been trying to forget about it. I've been trying to act like I don't suffer with this and that it's not eating away at my body. I just keep going back to when I used to be in a wheelchair, and I'm just so afraid of that happening again. I just feel like I've been taking my life for granted lately. And a lot of people don't talk about how this kind of thing can affect someone's mental health. Because I grew up with it, and I started dealing with it at such a young age, and it took a huge effect on my body physically, but it also made me struggle mentally because I grew up and I got bullied, and there were times where people would want to hang out with me growing up, and I couldn't because I was in bed in pain and I couldn't walk. And I would be 12 years old and my friends would be pushing me my wheelchair. I didn't get to grow up with a normal childhood. I didn't get to grow up with even a normal young adulthood. I haven't had the opportunity to do little things that most people would be able to do. Even with my job, it involves standing for extended periods of time, and most people can handle it. And I have financial responsibilities, so I need the money. And with everybody else that works there, it just kind of makes me insecure sometimes because I can barely handle one shift. I get so tired just from standing, and they don't understand it, so they can work like 3 shifts in a row, and they'll look at me and question why I'm so tired. They'll be like, I've been here all day. You've only been here for 3 hours. Why are you so tired? Or they do things after work together, and I can't even do it because I'm so tired, and I have to go to bed earlier than most people because I need that energy just to do simple things, and people don't see that, and it can be so frustrating sometimes. If the medicine I'm taking right now stops working, then there's that possibility that I can end up in a wheelchair again because I've been through so many drugs that I don't have all that many options left. So what this flare-up is showing me right now is just that I need to stop living my life as if I'm normal. I need to stop acting like I don't struggle with this because it's been so long that I've been in remission that it just doesn't even feel like I have it up until this moment. The whole purpose of this video was just to kind of show you the side of autoimmune diseases that people don't see and how much it can affect yourself mentally. So there's moments where I'm working on awake content and my brain will just stop working because that's the way my life has always kind of been. That's kind of the way my brain has always worked since I got diagnosed with this. And to me, I figured it was normal, but it stops me from doing things sometimes and from achieving all my goals, and that can be the most frustrating part. I've dealt with the pain for so long. Sure, I'm uncomfortable and being in pain really sucks, but I've dealt with it before and I could deal with it again. There's things that I can take to help manage it, but it doesn't fix the mental toll that it's taken on me the past 13 years. And it just sucks because I feel like it's controlling my life. And I just wish that I could take that control back. And I'm frustrated. We hear all these things about arthritis or lupus or whatever other autoimmune diseases there are out there, and how much pain these people go through, but you don't see the side where you realize that little things that most people can do, sometimes we can't. And it's probably the most frustrating part about living with an autoimmunity is nothing's really for certain. You can be in remission for so long, and then 1 minute something might just stop working, and then it's back to square one, And that's my biggest fear right now, is going back to square one and having to figure everything out and relive all the dark moments that I've had in my life. And I'm not gonna be out here complaining about my life altogether. I've had really great moments and I've lived a pretty fortunate life. I've done some traveling, I've met some really amazing people, I've accomplished some of the things that I really wanted to accomplish. And there are people out there who deal with worse, and I am so grateful for some of the things that I've been able to do. It's also frustrating because personality-wise, I'm this extremely optimistic and positive person, and anybody that I've met can vouch for that. I love encouraging other people to live their best lives. I love inspiring other people to be more positive and to always look on the bright side of life. The thing with this disease or with any autoimmunity is that it consumes you sometimes, and it can be so mentally draining that there's so many moments where I become depressed and anxious because of everything going on with my body. So because I struggle with this, there's going to be moments where I'm not the most optimistic person, and I want you guys to see that I'm human and that I have my own struggles, but that despite how shitty I may feel right now, that even I'm gonna try to push through. And that despite whatever I'm going through, I'm still hopeful. And I have faith, even if I do end up back in a wheelchair, even if the worst case scenario does happen, things look up eventually. So yes, I'm upset, and yes, the situation sucks, but at some point I'll get through it. I've gotten through it before, and I'll get through it again. I actually wrote a blog post about a year ago called Living with an Autoimmune Disease, and I raised money for Sick Kids Hospital because they were the ones that helped diagnose me. They were the ones that encouraged me to persevere all the way through the end until I finally reached remission. And the doctors there were absolutely phenomenal. I wouldn't have been able to go through all of that without them. They were just all such kind, gentle human beings, and they're really important to me there. So I raised some money. So ignore the GoFundMe page at the end of it, but I'll link the blog post down below if you want to learn a little bit more about my history with living with an autoimmune disease. I think it's really important that we acknowledge autoimmune diseases and how it affects our mental health, because it's just something that not that many people talk about. We talk about the physical tolls, but we don't talk about the mental tolls. So anyways, I'm gonna go now because I feel like I've ranted for a while. Thank you for listening. I really needed to get this off my chest, and I just feel like I needed to share that part of my life with you guys. If any of you are living with an autoimmune disease and you feel like you want to reach out to me, I'm always here to listen. I know what it's like. You feel alone. You feel like there's nobody out there who understands. But I can assure you that I've lived through some pretty tough situations. And if you need someone even just to listen, or if you need advice, I'm here as always. Okay. Bye, guys.